Oh my god, I'm here to give you my face. Well, I'm actually not gonna show my face because I'm embarrassed. But it turns out the week 10 did not get any better than week 9. Look at that fucking thing. 4 and 9. For every right fucking pick that I had, I had two wrong. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. Have you ever heard the any given Sunday thing? Well, this is what happened. This is it. You know, it says that football it's a game of inches. I mean, it really is. And I'm gonna tell you something though. When they say any given Sunday, this is more like a fucking box fight or like a fucking like I like UFC. Like I follow the UFC. I see these guys, these big ass guys. They have the chance, the strength to knock off fucking the opponent at any given time. Any point during the match. And this is exactly what happened though. You win games just by being more physical. You can literally win games in the NFL by being more physical. And here's a perfect example of some of this, like Detroit. I mean, Chicago took advantage that they didn't have Matthew Stafford, so they just went in and beat Detroit over there. I didn't know Matthew Stafford was going to be out. Otherwise, I definitely would have picked Chicago. You know, Cleveland has a great team, and Miles Garrett is a fucking beast though. Miles Garrett, it's a fucking dominant guy in the fucking defensive side. Buffalo has some good players, but nothing as impressive as this guy, Miles Garrett. No wonder why he went number one overall. The same with Tennessee. Tennessee has a great defense, actually. They're physical. They can be physical. And Kansas City has just no fucking defense. Kansas City has they're in big trouble. You have no idea. We're gonna talk about more in my week 11 picks, but boy, I'll be panicking if you're a Kansas City fan. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks now. I'll be panicking if they're fucking. Andy Reid is gonna give you a chance though. I love Andy Reid, but man, you got no chance with no fucking defense. You can't stop nobody, man. New Orleans and Atlanta. There's another perfect example though. Atlanta is it was more physical. They sacked fucking Drew Brees 6 times. I mean, you playing at home and your quarterback is getting sacked 6 fucking times by a fucking 1-17. Man, you have fucking problems. I mean, I would say you have problems, but then again, like I said, Atlanta has good players. I don't understand why they're in the hole that they were. I feel like some teams they react better with the bye week. Atlanta just came out of week 9. Week 9 they had a bye week and they just came back and played better. In week 10. So the same thing with New Orleans. New Orleans was had a bye week and you were expecting they were gonna come back and play great at home, but they let a lot of people down. Giants and the Jets. The Jets took advantage of the Danny Dimes rookie season going on. The Colts, man, the Colts. I'm panicking against the Colts, man. They let me down with Ryan Fitzmagic showing some of his magic over there. You know, they were playing Indianapolis. I thought Indianapolis had a better defense. I thought they were more physical on defense. I thought they were the stronger team. Um, the Rams. The Rams are just fucking. They're just. I don't know what to do about the Rams. But Pittsburgh, I gotta give my hats to Pittsburgh. To Pittsburgh, I mean, hats off to that coach, man. They did, like I said, they're trying to fucking show that they can win without Ben Roethlisberger. Um, they are right there. They are 2 games behind the Ravens in second place. I don't know if they're gonna have enough to catch him, but fuck, I mean, they could very well end up with a wild card spot, though. And then Dallas and Minnesota, you know, I wanted to go with my boy Kirk Cousins. I don't know why I really didn't go with him. Fuck, let me down again. San Francisco and Seattle. San Francisco just could have not closed that game with that kicker, man. They could have not closed that game with the kicker, though. I thought for sure they'll be undefeated until they play the Saints in a couple more weeks at the Dome. Awful, awful, awful week 10. We're gonna forget about it. We're gonna move on. That's what we do over here. It's life. Lesson living. You live and you learn, though. So here we go. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland has not won at Pittsburgh in a long time, and they're playing at Cleveland tonight without Big Ben. So this is, it has to go Cleveland, right? You have to go with Cleveland, right? Cleveland is in a tough spot though. They will have to sweep the division, like win the next two games against the Steelers, which they play the Steelers in a couple more weeks over there in Pittsburgh. Then you gotta play the Bengals twice, Arizona one more time, and maybe if they can beat Baltimore, which they already beat them once, that puts them at 6 wins. 2, 4, yeah. Actually 5 wins, 5 more wins, but they have 3. So that's 8 wins total. 8 and 8. I don't know if it's enough. But definitely if they lose against Baltimore next time they play Baltimore, they will be 7 and 9, and definitely that will not be enough to get into the playoffs. So they're in a tough stretch, and it happens because they had a rough beginning of the season. Fuck Cleveland. Let's move on. Dallas and Detroit. Driscoll it looks like he's gonna about to start again for Detroit. Matthew Stafford is not ready to practice. I don't know. I guess I go with Dallas. It's no brainer over there. Jacksonville and Indianapolis. The same thing with Indianapolis. It looks like Jacoby Brissett will not play again. My boy Brian Hoyer will play. But for Jacksonville, Nick Foles is ready to be back. He's been practicing, and I don't know. I mean, Indianapolis let me down, like I said last week against this fucking team, the Colts, the Dolphins. I'm sorry, they let me down though. They really did. I don't know what to expect about the Colts. I don't know if they can stop Jacksonville. You know. It really sucks for my boy with the mustache from Jacksonville. He went 4-4 on his time being a quarterback in Jacksonville. His first start, he almost beat Houston. Almost. The score was like 12-14 or something like that. It was very close. 12-13, I believe it was. But last week when they were playing over there in Europe, Houston looked like it was ready for him. And they actually make him look bad. The score was 3-26. It got ugly in a hurry. So it looks like they're ready to start. It looks like they're ready to start Nick Foles back again. Like I said, the Colts led Miami and beaten at home. So I was gonna go with the Colts, but I think I'm gonna go with Jacksonville, hoping that Nick Foles is gonna play and hopefully that he's gonna stay healthy. Buffalo and Miami. Well, Buffalo already beat Miami 31-21, but my boy Ryan Fitzmagic, I mean, you gotta remember Fitzmagic used to play in Buffalo, and he'll want to beat Buffalo over there in Miami. So, it gives you a little bit of it gives you like a more excited to play this type of games when it is personal, especially for quarterbacks, especially when the position that they've been, that he didn't got offered to stay over there to be the star and be the man. So I'm gonna change my pick. I thought Buffalo. I actually think Buffalo is the better pick. But Miami won the last 2 games and they beat a good team like the Colts. So I mean, if they beat a good team like the Colts with a great defense, well, but not great, but with a good defense, I think they can very well play good against Buffalo at home. So I changed my pick, the last 2 picks. I was actually in my mind, I was thinking about going with Buffalo and I was thinking about with the Colts, but fuck this. I'm in a desperate situation right here. I had a 49 record last week, so I need to do something about this. Denver was able to stone Cleveland at home. But Minnesota is coming from a great victory against the Dallas, against the damn boys. So I think Minnesota keeps the momentum going, and Minnesota is going to win that game. Here we go. New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Please, please, Hug. For the love of God, please do not let Tampa Bay beat you. Please, don't let him beat you. I mean, New Orleans needs to start fucking thinking about the long run. Like I say, this is their time. The window is closing. I'm going with New Orleans just because they need to win this game, man. Tampa Bay they just won the third game this season. Please do not let beat y'all over there. Um, Tampa Bay is physical, and they're gonna try to use the same formula like the Falcons did against the Saints. So they're gonna try to be physical on the defense. So they're coming for your boy Drew Brees. So please do not let him beat y'all. Please. The Jets and Washington, man, this is gonna be a sorry game, I think. Washington had a bye week, and although they lost the week before against Buffalo, in week 9, they looked like they were starting to turn things around with the new interim coach, Bill Callahan. However, they named Dwayne Hoskins their starting quarterback for the rest of the season. And I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to see if what exactly do they have on this rookie quarterback. I don't think he's ready to start in the league. And you saw the Jets just taking advantage of the how inexperienced or how a rookie Danny Dimes was with the Giants last week. So the defense took advantage of that game, and the defense pretty much won last game. I think the Jets can actually win um, against the Washington Redskins, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see what happens. Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta is gonna just, you know, like I say, they were physical last week against New Orleans. They're just gonna try to keep playing with trying to use the same formula. However, I don't think they can do it against Carolina. I feel like Carolina can bounce back. My boy Kyle Allen almost beat Aaron Rodgers at Green Bay. So I think at home they can play better and they can win against Atlanta. Houston and Baltimore. Whew. The 6-3 Houston Texans versus the 7-2 Baltimore Ravens. This is a huge game. Possibly for home field advantage in the playoffs. They only one game behind Houston, so if they can win it, they'll take the tiebreaker. And my boy JJ Watt's out. So if they're going to win this game, if somehow they have a chance to win this game, all 11 guys from defense, they need to stop their game. They need to step their game up, like literally, step your game up. And not, you know what? Not only defense, all of it, offense, special teams, like everybody needs to do. They say in the NFL, they say when you go on the road, the whole team has to travel. So if they're gonna win, they need to play all 60 minutes on all three phases of the ball. I'm not taking no chances. Like I say, I went on a bad streak last week, so I'm gonna go ahead and take Baltimore. Okay. Fuck. See what I'm doing again? Two, 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 two. I did not mean to do that though. I really did not mean to do that. And to prove you that I'm gonna pick San Francisco before I give you my explanation as of why. I think San Francisco, they're gonna come furious about losing that game against Seattle. They are home. The spread was 13 and a half yesterday. For some reason today it went down to 10 and a half. I like the spread better at 10 and a half. However, I will not take it just to have some respect against Arizona. Arizona's a good team. They've been giving a hard time to everybody. They travel all the way across the country last week, and they give a hard time against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. which they're not a great team. The record you are what your record says you are. They were 2-7, and now they're 3-7 because they barely beat Arizona Cardinals. But they do have a decent defense, which it's not easy to just travel across the country and just beat anybody, though. Um, Next game, Cincinnati at Oakland. Oakland is 5-4, one game behind KC, and KC is in trouble right now. All the momentum is in Cleveland. In Cleveland and Oakland. And you know what? John Gruden has those guys buying into the program. They buying into what John Gruden is selling, and they playing good. They created more sacks with everybody contributing in the defense. I take Cleveland at home, man. Cincinnati, I don't know if they can win a game this season, though. They have a little rough schedule for what I see. Patriots at Philadelphia. Well, Philadelphia has already started talking shit about this game. They say what happened last time you play. Actually the last time they play in the preseason and the Patriots beat them. But they're talking about like the Super Bowl, of course. They're talking about like, remember what happened last time? We beat you for the Super Bowl, blah blah blah. I don't know. Like I said, they've been talking shit, but they say they got the formula. They saw Baltimore running the ball against New England. They say they can do the same thing at home. They can give them a hard time. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a close game and a good game. But I'm gonna tell you just something though. Like I say, some good teams some teams can utilize the bye week in a good way, and some teams utilize the bye week in a bad way. I'm not saying Philadelphia is one of those teams that do it in a bad way, but I do know for sure, the Patriots play great football after the bye week. And not only the next game, here and on. Like I said, the season you started in two halves. The first, what we did in the first 9 weeks, we went 8-1, no big deal, whatever. That shit doesn't count, man. Nobody's gonna remember that shit. We about to start making a run for it, and here starts little by little, though. One game at a time. I'm going Patriots all day. Patriots Nation, stand the fuck up, bro. Chicago and the Rams. Sunday Night Football. I wish I would have changed that game, man, for the Sunday Night Football. Usually at this time of the year, they change it. Like if the games are not that good, maybe they put the Patriots. Nah, I don't like the Sunday Night Football though, because then I gotta stay late and go to work early the next day. But maybe Houston and Baltimore, that'd be a good Sunday night game. Move them to the 9 o'clock, to the 8 o'clock game, the late game. I think that'll be better than Chicago and LA. That's just my opinion. Chicago, I feel like they took advantage of Detroit not having Matthew Stafford, but they can't contend against the Rams, especially over there in LA. Chicago was not a great team, like I said, from last year, comparing to last year. I think the Rams will win this game. I don't think the Rams are quite back again, but what the fuck happened to my little X right there? Anyways, I don't think the Rams are quite back again, because they actually lost last week. Did they lose last week? Yeah, they lost last week against the Steelers. Aaron Donald was fucking playing lights out, but I mean, Pittsburgh is just doing their thing at home, trying to win some games, playing as a team. So I'm taking the Rams. The spread right now, it's 6 points. They got the Rams favored by 6 points, so I think they can actually cover the spread too, to be honest. I'll put a 6 just to make sure to remember. And Monday Night Football from the motherland, KC versus LA Chargers, man. I think this game could actually end up being a shootout. The total points, it could be over 55 points. LA is actually Kansas City is favored by 3.5 points as of right now, but here comes the but. If the Chargers can steal this game, you know, if they can just get the ball at the last minute and score the last, you know, the last possession of the game, this could be big, a huge game, you know, because they play again in last week, on week 17, and you know, the game will be at Kansas City. So right now, from week 11 to week 17, LA will have the upper hand against Kansas City. But like I say, they play again in week 17. So, and this is also, of course, if just assuming the Oakland will be Kansas City next week. So Kansas City will actually drop all the way to third place in that division, and LA can actually possibly win a wild card spot for the playoffs with a record of about 9-7, possibly even 10-6. With the rest of the schedule, I haven't seen the Chargers schedule, but they can actually, you know, they only 2 games behind KC. So like I say, if they win this one, they'll be 1 game behind. And if Oakland can win against KC next week, all fucking 3 teams will be tied up though. Of course, Oakland having the upper hand over Kansas City, and Oakland having the upper hand over the Chargers. So it'll be 1, 2, and 3. Ain't that crazy? But my boy Patrick Mahomes is back. Like I say, it'll be a shootout. He'll give him the best chance to win this game. I think the Kansas City defense cannot stop. Like I say, nobody right now at this point, unless they prove me wrong. I don't think they can stop nobody. So I think the Chargers could do can very well do whatever they want against that defense. So I'm going to take a wild. It's hard to bet against Mahomes and Kansas City, but I'm going with the Chargers though. Before the season started, I said Kansas City was going to have a setback, just like the Rams. They were not going to be the big explosive teams from last year, and so far they haven't disappointed me. Patrick Mahomes was having a great year. By all means, he's been out for being injured, but I didn't say Patrick Mahomes was gonna have a bad year. I just say Kansas City's gonna have a setback. Last year they only lost 3 games or 4 games. This year they win week 11 and they already lost 4, possibly 5 this week, and possibly 6 with the next week. So I mean that's a setback. That's considered a setback. The same with the Rams. The Rams last year they only lost like 3 games also. And what are they right now? 5-4, and possibly losing 1 more before this. That's 5 games. So those are setbacks. Like I said, the total points it could go up to like 55 or plus. I'm just gonna go with 52. I don't think we're going quite as high in 55. Let's just go with 52. And this is your boy Say. And week 11, it's a wrap, bro. Hope you guys have a nice week. Go Tigers, LSU. Big game this week, Georgia and Auburn. Stay tuned, my friends. And stay thirsty. AMF, motherfuckers.